Breaking news update coming in from Rajouri. Shifting our focus to the latest from J&K. An army team has suffered fatal casualties. 2 casualties with injuries to 4 other soldiers, including an officer. So this is an update coming in from Rajouri in Jammu and Kashmir. And Jawans is joining us with more details. Yes, Jawans.
Well, exactly. The army has confirmed that there's a casualty of 2 officers, 4 others are injured, including an officer. They have been evacuated to the command hospital in Udhampur. Now remember that this operation was launched in the May.
Okay.
At around this security forces had credible news that this is the same group who laid down ambush in the Tota, which led to the fatality of high soldiers.
Okay, so the terrorists who had laid down this ambush had been identified. Yawa, request you to stay on with us. Colonel Arsan Singh also with us. Colonel Arsan Singh, it was a counter-terror operation that had been taken up by the army, but now information coming in of 2 casualties as well being suffered.
Yes, I mean, this terrorist operations and counter-terrorist operations have been going on for very long. We need some kind of an enduring solution. And that is, how to disabuse that region, from this menace of jihadism. So that is the challenge. And, well, I mean, if I may draw a parallel, what do I mean? How do you disabuse of jihadism? You have a raging debate, between Bajrang Dal and PFI, I mean, in these elections. So my humble submission is that the PFI believes in, Ghazwa-e-Hind, right? Or you get a rep of PFI and ask him to condemn this concept of Ghazwa-e-Hind. I'll change my opinion. And Bajrang Dal, I mean, it has every right to fight Ghazwa-e-Hind, isn't it? It is my duty also. So similarly, where you are talking about this ambush and then this thing, ideologically we have to disabuse them. Otherwise, this cycle will go on. Yes, the security forces are very, very alert. They are very praiseworthy actions. But it is our duty. It is not the security forces which will change this, ideological basis. It is up to you and me. But first, we have to be convinced ourselves. Otherwise, I'm sorry to say this cycle will go on.
Okay. But here's a threat, Mr. Arsan Singh, when, the forces go ahead with these kind of terror operations, counter-terror operations, given the intel inputs that they receive and they do launch an operation, a search operation in the area. This is a threat that is in place for them. And in that sense, we've seen this kind of an eventuality in several cases in the past as well.
No, what has happened over the years, that especially from, Mehbooba Mufti's time, some of these, some Bakarwals, some, Gujars, they have managed to radicalize them. There is no running away from this fact. And the area where this is happening, is, it is predominantly, what I'm talking about Bakarwals. And, well, this is why this is, in first place, the Roshni Act was put in place, isn't it? So since then they have been radicalized, and I must confess this. And they are the ones, who are probably providing safe havens, and they are very much, conversant. They know every rivulet, every small track. That is the kind of terrain expertise these Bakarwals have. So now I think away from the valley, the focus has shifted to these areas. In Rajouri, Poonch, that on the LOC. So that is the new reality, actually. And the security forces are more than aware, and they are tackling the problem. There is no doubt. But consider what I told you. That
Okay.
you are talking about actionable intelligence. Of course, without actionable intelligence, there cannot be anti-terrorist or counter-terrorist operations. But there is something, it doesn't take a genius to figure out as to, what makes these jihadis? Where are they being indoctrinated? Where they are being manufactured? And if it is persisting for last 20, 30 years, I mean even more than that, then surely, I mean there is something needs to be done at the ideological level. So I and you don't become terrorists. Whatever we may go through, we don't become terrorists. There's a certain ideologies which are producing this. So,
Okay,
so
all right. Colonel Singh, thank you for joining us. You're right, it has to be dealt with in a tougher manner, like you mentioned. Details coming in of the encounter that broke out between the terrorists and the security forces, including police officials in Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri area. GD Bakshi also joining us. Major General, thank you for joining us. The Rajouri area also has a history of terrorist movement. Just a few days after the killing of 4 soldiers in an attack, we are now seeing an encounter taking place.
Look, Pakistan is very feverishly engaged in trying to spread terror south of the Pir Punjab. Like I said, that area has been lying dormant for almost 2 decades. I was posted in Rajouri and we had broken the back of the terrorists there, especially in the wake of Operation Sarp Vinash. And now Pakistan has been feverishly engaged in trying to rekindle terror in that south of the Pir Punjab, because they are under heavy pressure in the Kashmir Valley per se. Therefore, they are trying to extend the arc of terror once again. They are also trying to spread terror in Punjab, rekindle terror in Punjab, through this Amritpal Singh failed movement. But the fact of the matter is Pakistan, a state that is sinking, that is on the verge of economic meltdown, civil war and worse, is feverishly engaged in trying to create problems in India.
Okay.
I think it's about time that we read the riot act out to Pakistan. This is the second incident in a few days. We just lost 5 boys there, martyred, and 2 boys again. My heart goes out to these boys, but my exhortation to Romeo force is to go for their juggler.
Okay,
Kill
thank you,
anybody
Major
who's
General
trying
GD
to-
Bakshi. It's also important to point out how, while the Pakistan Foreign Minister today is in India attending the SCO meet in Goa, that message was sent out by the External Affairs Minister as well. Lieutenant General, Major General SP Sinha with us on the broadcast as well. General Sinha, what do you make of this? Like General Bakshi was pointing out, we've seen such incidents take place repeatedly. In fact, the last 3 alone, we've seen a 3rd such incident now come to light, sir.
See, first of all, you have to understand the timing of this attack by Pakistan. Bilawal Bhutto is in Goa to attend Foreign Affairs meeting. Whenever important activities are taking place in India, this rogue country called Pakistan, they try to do some mischief and try to make news at international level, firstly. Secondly, I have no doubt that this is the handiwork of Pakistan ISI. Thirdly, why Pakistan is now increased the pace of terror within India, within Jammu and Kashmir. The rationale is very clear. Pakistan Army, ISI, they are very angry with India because Pakistan feels that the main cause of their economic morass, economic downfall is India. And we remember that our Honorable Prime Minister had once said that I will take such action that ye katori leke bhik mangenge. And that is what Pakistan is doing. So this frustration is manifesting itself in such retaliatory moves. My feeling is, whenever such things happen, and suppose 5 of our Johnnies are dead, we should maintain a ratio of 1:10. If 1 Jawan of our is martyred, minimum 10 Pakistani soldiers should be killed. That should be the ratio. If we maintain this ratio, the message is very, very clear. They know from ab initio, they know that from before they do the act, that if I kill 5, our 50 will get killed. That we have to ensure. Until as we do that. And secondly, I think now time has come to now use our artillery, long-range artillery, and target Pakistani military posts. And it is my final recommendation. The time now has come. Let's use our air power. And we have long-range missiles, which can take on any target in Pakistan. Let's target ISI headquarters. Let's just bomb them off. And if the matter escalates and we come to warlike situation, let it be so. Until unless Pakistan understands.
Okay,
That
so you're calling
the cost
for
of
much tougher action to be taken. Major General, thank you for joining us. A tough message also being given out by the External Affairs Minister in the opening of the SCO summit as he called out the counter region terrorism, saying that it's time to cut off any finances that are going in there.